boy, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be nasty. We've joked about it all year long, haven't we? We've said that, the first loss is going to be the first big post-game therapy session, as Isaac says there. Isaac and Mark in the chat, good evening to you all. We joked on Friday about how the Eagles, we're going to blitz by the New York Jets, and oh no, this was a mess. From top to bottom, an absolute mess. There wasn't a single redeeming factor outside of one man named Sean Desire. The rest of it, absolute hellscape. And, normally, as you all know, I come in with graphics. I come in with nice little stats and analysis and knowledge. And do you know what? Today, for the narrative this is, really, it's just because I was really busy. But for the narrative, I thought, why bother? Why put in the effort? Why try? Because if the Eagles aren't even going to put in the effort, if the Eagles are going to get complacent, then so am I. Why should I be going to the effort to make all these fancy graphics if the Eagles are just going to throw it back in your face anyway? That was shambolic, right? From top to bottom. It started off great. 90-yard, 9-minute drive. Couldn't ask for better, really. It was a great start. And then something just, ticked wrong. Something just went off, and one by one you were watching these dominoes fall, injury by injury. First it was Lane, then it was Ricks, then you had other defensive players falling just one by one, piece by boring piece they fell. Then the offensive play calling sucked. Then they abandoned the run 2 quarters in. Then Jalen Hurts, when Jalen Hurts did wobble, first his receivers bailed him out. Then they didn't. Then Smitty started. I've never known Devontae Smith to drop a pass. Man looked like prime Nelson Aguilar out there on Sunday. Then Jake Elliott, the most reliable kicker in football arguably, misses a 37-yard field goal. And then when the damage is done, like Boromir in Lord of the Rings, the first Fellowship of the Ring film, where he gets the 4th arrow in the chest, and he's fighting and he's fighting and he's fighting, but it was too much on the day. Hurts goes down, throws the most deranged that is prime Liam playing Madden level interception. Bollocks if I've ever seen it. There was no need to throw that interception. The other 2 you can maybe, one was the Dallas Goedert incident, one was the DeAndre Swift incident. Both of them were very questionable as to whatever the hell happened. But the third one was just no need for it. I don't know what happened there. It was just shambolic. And the Eagles deserved to lose. The Eagles didn't let the Jets win. It wasn't like that the Jets, came in and were they shit hours to win. The Jets won outright. They were the better team. And the Eagles just gave them every possible avenue to succeed time after time. And the worst part is, I'm not even surprised. I'm not even remotely surprised. And we'll get to your comments about this shortly. If you are just joining us, welcome to the chaos, to your post-game therapy for week 6. If you could leave a like on the video, it will be amazing. It does help us just grow the stream, grow the channel, and bring more people into these post-game therapy sessions. But the Eagles, if we're being honest, and I've hinted at it for 5 weeks now, they've not been great. They've risked being slapped around. Right, through 5, they could have lost any of those 5 games. If I'd blindly watched the games without the score, and I kind of come in and out of the room at times and whatever, and I wasn't really aware of what was happening, and I had to have guessed the Eagles' record just based off what I've seen. 3 wins, 4 a push, probably between 2 and 4. I would say is absolutely fair. I would not say that was a 5-win team. And week 1, they got away with it. You can say, it was the Patriots affair. Week 1, shaking off the rust. They're shaking off the rust. Brian Johnson, teething problems. They'll get accountable. They'll grow into it. Week 2, teething problems are only the second game. Yeah, Jalen Hurts had $255 million, but it doesn't matter. It's teething problems. That's what you want from a 4th-year quarterback and a guy he's known since he was -3. The guy's known Jalen Hurts since he was in the womb, and you'd think he's just been pulled off the street. We'll get to that a bit later. I've got a lot to say about Brian Johnson. I've made bad BJ jokes this entire facade of a podcast, but that was I'm never having a BJ again after what I've seen on Sunday. But then week 3 happens, and it was, okay, progress. Jalen Hurts is better, but now the defense sucked a little bit. And then week 4, and then the only game where I felt they were really good and it came together. Out of the 5 that they won, the one game that I thought was convincing was week 5 against the Rams, where Sean Desai's defense was excellent from top to bottom. Like that second half adjustment, chef's kiss to shut out Cooper Kupp, to shut out Packer Nakua, to shut out Matt Stafford, who was a dynamite quarterback against the Eagles in games previous. But then you look back at the week beforehand, Jalen Hurts stepped up. The rest of the team folded. The games before that, Jalen Hurts sucked, but the running back stepped up. Every week, something has gone tits up at some point, without fail, right? It's not like a shock. I'm not stunned the Eagles got the piss slapped out of them, which is frankly what that team deserved. And what really wound me up was Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts to a point coming out in the press conferences after saying, oh, it starts at the top. It's accountability. It's accountability. If it's accountability, you'd have seen the issues from week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and something would have changed. It's nothing to do with being accountable. So if you're being accountable, you're going to hold Brian Johnson accountable for calling a train wreck of an offense, not 1 week, not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks, not 4 weeks, not even 4. We're 6 weeks in. And yet it's the same. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. A wise man in Far Cry 3 once told me that. And we are seeing exactly that right now. And as Duck says, I mean, I will get to your comments. I just feel like I've got to vent my grievances first. But the one man void of criticism, I think, is Sean Desai. And I'll say that till the cows come home. Because, and I'll pin the comment while we're talking about this. Because I genuinely don't know what more anyone expects that man to do, okay? At one point, let's go through it. At one point on Sunday, okay, he was down Jalen Carter and a backup defensive tackle. That's 2 on the front line, okay? Avonte Maddox, gone. Darius Slay, gone. Eli Ricks, gone. Nakobe Dean was like, okay. Reed Blankenship, gone. Sidney Brown, gone. Justin Evans, gone. That's an entire defense. That's an entire defense gone. And yet somehow this man steps up to a running back like Bryce Hall and corners him. This man steps up to a receiver like Garrett Wilson and limits the damage to some degree and digs them back out of a hole and limits them and gives the Eagles a chance, gives the offense a chance. The offense built of an all-star offensive line, an all-star receiving corps, one of the top 5 best paid quarterbacks in the league, should be a top 5 elite tier quarterback, and a backfield that is one of the most efficient in the NFL. You turn the ball over to them against a bollocks Jets team with a bollocks defense that's missing 3 cornerbacks, and you can't do anything. Anything. On the ground, sack it off. There were 14 design run plays. What's the point? The Jets were giving up 135 yards a game, and somehow with a 2-score lead, you've gone 4 passes, mate. It didn't work. Do it again. It didn't work again. Do it again. I'll get it eventually. It didn't work again. That was an interception, was it? All right. I hear what you're saying, Nick. I hear what you're saying. You want something different. You want. I know we've got running backs, but hear me out. What if we double down again, and they won't see it come? Interception, was it? Fuck. Are they winning now, are they? Right. Okay. Well, now I've got to throw. And I've just never seen dysfunction like it. Again, Ron's right. Jets had a 29th ranked run defense. You'd think they were the prime steel curtain, the way that they defended on Sunday. The Jets wanted it more. And credit to Rob Saleh, who's a fantastic coach. And you look at the staff they've got over there and their ability to negate the losses that they've had. The Jets played a good football team. There is no way Zach Wilson against that defense should have been made to look mediocre. But here we are. And what really ground my gears, again, on top of like yesterday's traditional cookie cutter accountability, this, accountability, that. Jalen Hurts comes in, smolders at the camera and goes, we got to get good. Like, where, again, winning cures everything. If you're winning and you lose a game, like, it's okay. They're going to go, we're 5-1. It doesn't matter. But what if you're 5-2 next week? What if you're 5-3 the week after that? What if you then have a 3-game skid? How long would that press conference cycle of the same responses where, like, and again, and this is no shot at AJ Brown because the man broke a receiving record last night. The guy who became the first ever Eagle to have like 4 straight games of 125 receiving yards, having a hell of a year. No, not a single criticism about him. But in week 2, there was a glimpse of what happens when things don't go the way of a receiver that caliber who understandably has an ego. What happens when that receiver of that caliber who understandably has an ego in the court of King Caracas ends up losing 4 games on the bounce and the Eagles have a 255 million quarterback? That's where I think you're going to start seeing cracks show. We haven't seen this team get tested yet, really. The loss against Washington last year didn't matter. It was Washington, it was a freak game. But the difference was, it was very clear it was a freak game because in the games that preceded that, the Eagles dominated bell to bell week after 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 week. You didn't do that this season. It's been 5 mediocre weeks where they've somehow got away with it and gone, 5-0, boys. What a team we are. What a bloody team. And they've been made to look absolutely stupid by the New York Jets. Quick shout to Lone Trout. I think that's the first ever message you guys sent as well. So an absolute hero. Round of applause. I don't have a little song to play for new users yet, but not only has he sent the first message, it's a very kind donation as well of $5. In all honesty, Kenny Gainwell's a drive killer. Every time he's on the field, they're punting. He wasn't great. I mean, in fairness, I would say, had he had more than 3 opportunities, he would have done, I'd like to think, done something better. But he certainly hasn't been near his best. And it's been beyond disappointing. I mean, it was the same last week. There wasn't really much to write home about last week either. And a very big shout for the $5 donation. That's incredibly kind of you, Lone Trout. Officially more effective than anyone on the Eagles team in terms of production right there. Phenomenal scenes. Although you have upset K1, so that's automatically put you in the bad books. But I do massively appreciate that. Extremely kind of you. Let's get to a couple others of your comments. Let's have a look. Matt says, you got Chinese takeout. My fortune cookie said, your football team's trying to kill you, beware. Yeah, I mean, it's not gone great. Isaac's fuming. Duck is saying, you can't run a QB 3-4 times in a row. No, exactly. But no NFL team would be. And this is the thing. The Eagles have been so... I don't know if complacent's the word. I think there was an element of complacency there. But is a lack of accountability complacency? Or is that an entirely different debate altogether? But I really think that there's got to be a firmer hand, a firmer discussion in terms of what's viable and what's acceptable and what's not. Because you cannot have it all on a quarter. It feels like there's such a disconnect between Johnson and Hurts. And I don't understand how. We've had, how many times this year have we had this comment and a team of 5-0? We've had it three shows out of about 12 have been Jalen Hurts, Brian Johnson, the dynamics off. Feels like Hurts is fighting against the tide to do much of anything. Johnson's play calling has not shown any improvement, right? That loss was I'm struggling. I was dreading this stream all day because I knew I'd have to relive it. And I've been perfectly calm all afternoon. Went for a nice coffee and did some work in a cafe earlier today. Was in a relaxed mindset. Did loads of work. Thought, lovely. Gonna have a nice stream. 3 minutes in, incandescent with rage again. And I wouldn't, if they'd have lost and the Jets were clearly the better team and they'd walked all over them, I'd be like, you know what? Fair enough. The Eagles played well, but they lost. And this is kind of what I was saying before. I'd almost rather play really well and come up short than play horrifically and win. And the Eagles did that twice. They've played average and won 3 times, in my opinion. It's great that it's lovely they're 5-0, but it doesn't matter when you're going to meet, having said that, it would be the most Eagles thing ever for them to go and face the Miami Dolphins next week and slap them silly. And then it will just be, they'll do everyone doubted us. Everyone, we're the underdogs. You're not the underdogs. You're Super Bowl contenders. You came off a Super Bowl. You were expected to hit home runs. You cannot, and this is where it's going to get interesting. Because the Eagles have always, even dating back to Dougie P, but they embrace that underdog thing. And as soon as the media turn on them, under any circumstance, it's we're underdogs. Oh, everyone, you didn't believe in us. And even the fans take pride in it. You still can't be critical of Jalen Hurts after last night without being labeled as a hater of some kind. And I was very much, I don't think Jalen was solely responsible for yesterday's defeat. He was definitely responsible. It wasn't his entire fault. I think the team fell apart around him. And then when it was said and done, on the one play it mattered, Jalen was like, well, I've done all I can, fuck it, and just launch, literally fuck it and chuck it, just launched it, and that was it. But at the same time, like as the Shabby Attic says, welcome to the chat, the Shabby Attic. Hope you are doing well this evening. Kaywin says, how many receivers did Jalen miss? It's just going to get to a point where the Eagles have to stop this false underdog persona. You cannot pay a quarterback $255 million and then be an underdog. It's lovely that Jalen set that, look, if he set that Chiefs Super Bowl thing as his background after the Super Bowl, and that's been the whole thing that we romanticize, set last week's up, set a screenshot of Bryce Hall running through for a touchdown. Set a screenshot of Zach Wilson celebrating as your background, Jalen. That would motivate me, because you've been made to look stupid by Zach Wilson. I'm a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. I haven't even played football. It's not even my natural football. Football, we have soccer here. I'm still a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. And they're going to come out, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be all week. And I know they're going to beat the Dolphins. I guarantee you now they beat the Dolphins. I will say it now. I'll say it all week. Forget any rudimentary analysis, any actual insight into breakdown, injuries, statistics, trends. None of it matters, because they're going to beat the Dolphins, and they're going to come out and say, oh, everyone doubted us. We were underdogs. Never stop believing in ourselves. Everyone turned on us. No, we didn't. We just have expectations of a Super Bowl team to not get made to look like infant children against the New York Jets. That's not an underdog team. That is someone that is bitterly underwhelming and has been bitterly underwhelming all year and got away with it. If the Eagles played like this all year and they made the Super Bowl and got slapped, you'd be like, were we shocked? Have they shown that? It's just a tease of knowing it's there. It's knowing how good it can be, but it isn't. And I'm not going to liken it to a honeymoon phase in a relationship, because I think that's kind of coming out of, I don't want it to come across the wrong way of the Super Bowl run's over. But it sort of is we all got so enamored with that first couple of years of Jalen Hurts, right? And he's got better and better and better. And the offense and AJ Brown and all these pieces and the way they built the team. And it was all perfect and it was all rosy and it was all lovely. And then the first argument starts. And then, you have the first near breakup. And then you fall out on holiday and then she cheats on you and, gives a good BJ. I'll take that BJ over an actual BJ off BJ. Eagles BJ's useless. Get him gone. I think, would I rather Marty Mornhinweg as offensive coordinator? Probably. Right, I'd take K1 as offensive coordinator right now. But I'm liking this a little. See, this is the thing. All right, I've come back at a good time. My brand is just being angry and sarcastic. I can't be angry and sarcastic when the team are winning. And if I am, people just have a go at me because, then the team are good and I can't be mean about it. But when they're bad, and I think this is the thing, no one does dig into them. WIP are either just clickbait something. I've not listened to WIP, funnily enough, because I'm in a different country. But I can guarantee you today, someone in the chat, tell me today, did WIP, let's play bingo, pin this loss on Jalen Hurts? Did they play bingo in the chat? Say they're going to get blown out by the Dolphins. Because it'll just clickbait. There's no actual insight to them. And there's no justification for it. Whereas I would much rather, if I'm angry and I'm pissed at what I've seen, which is the product on the field, I don't know, if you have much more fun with it than just trying to clickbait. Oh, is Jalen Hurts a bad quarterback? Have they overpaid him? Which I guarantee you within a week or two is going to come out on that crazy station. Although I say that. Brian is on Birds 365 sometimes, and they are lovely people, and it's a lovely radio station. We love them very much, but I'm British. I can afford to be a bit snarky. I'll take a BJ Retief over the Eagles, BJ. Yeah. I mean, at least that one knows how to finish. The Eagles don't. At least a BJ Retief will get you over the line and won't fumble in the red zone. At least it will, give you a nice happy ending and not destroy your hopes and dreams. At least there's some upside to it. You grit your teeth through it, but you know where the ending is. You're going to, I needed that all day. That's better. I didn't need a loss to the Jets. I didn't need this stress. Didn't need this anger. It's ridiculous. There's no need. I said before the start of the season this was the game I had the Eagles losing first. I did not, under any circumstance, project it to be like that. Without Aaron Rodgers, without 3 starting corners, with Joey from Wawa lining up at defensive. There's just no way. It's not real. I don't understand. Well, yeah, if there's ever a positive, the clips on this stream should be wired. Should be absolutely cracked, I think. We wanted a happy ending and got a golden shower. Look, the game's the game, all right? You got to do what you got to do. But that was just it was atrocious. I thought I purposely didn't make graphics because I can get through an hour of just ranting. I haven't got any energy left. I'm burnt out. I'm tapping out. I need you guys to take over. I don't know what it means for Miami moving forward. All right, I can do this thing now, can't I, where I share my screen. So let me get the Eagles schedule up and we can just examine how absolutely, doomed we are. Because that's the Philadelphia way, right? We can't just be like a little bit bad. We have to be, all right, how do I do this? I'm 28 years old. I cannot operate a computer to save my life. Share screen. That one. Bear with me. Voila. Who's that? Who is that? Tory MP Peter Bone exposed himself to... Right, that's not about the Eagles, but I guarantee even he gets a happy ending. I think that's like a right knobhead. So, what time's Madonna on stage? More interesting than the Eagles. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'll be saying prayer. We'll stop the jokes. All right. Oh, I shouldn't have... This has made it worse. I was so looking forward to this game as well. I was so looking forward to it. And now we've got the Commanders. They might get away with it. They might win. But then that'll be the one they win. Right, okay, let's play another hypothetical. They lose to the Dolphins, beat the Commanders. And it's, you doubted us. You wear shirts saying big bad bald men on it. Big bad bald men. Big bad bald men are underdogs and we're hungry and we beat shit teams with 3 wins. Urgh, fuck off. You're not underdogs. You're just a bad football team that was good last year. Sorry, there's a lot of bad language here. I hope we're over the watershed because I apologize to any viewers under 18 and especially... Get off Microsoft Edge! Right. Anyway, then the Cowboys at home, right? That should be a win, I'd like to think, but Lord only knows at this point. The Cowboys and the Chargers will be interesting tonight, especially with Austin Eckler back in the lineup. I hope that's enough for the Chargers to get tilted over the end and, see it out. That is going to be an absolute train wreck. That could be a train wreck. That might be all right because Debo's just mouthing off on Twitter like he always does and is a crybaby. And McCaffrey's got 1 leg, so that's fantastic. Cowboys, I mean, if you can get past this bit, you're fine. But the Eagles have got to sort it out. There needs to be a level of accountability there. There absolutely does. Let's go through your comments. Jonathan Harvey, another new user. Welcome in, Jonathan. Grab your popcorn, grab yourself a drink, and a private therapist if you can get one, because you'll need it following this Eagles team. The Eagles beating Miami is like hoping Toledo beat Georgia. Hurts is not the same guy. Yeah, I mean, that's its own thing, isn't it, right now? Like, everyone's comparing Jalen Hurts to where he was this time last year. It's a different team on a different schedule. I think that's fair, right? We can all agree that it wasn't a like-for-like comparison. The Eagles were playing the equivalent of Toledo last year for most of the year, and Jalen Hurts was naturally going to look better against them. With that said, the New York Jets were not the team to crumble against, right? Do that next week. Have a stinker against the Dolphins you let off. You do not have a stinker against whatever is left of the New York Jets and then preach accountability. And again, I'll really quickly talk about this because as much as it is Jalen Hurts, I think a lot of the responsibility falls on Brian Johnson. And Nick Sirianni went up to the press conference today, sat there, and was naturally asked about his play calling. Because why wouldn't he be? The team have just laid an absolute stinker, right? He sits there with a little look in his eye, a little twinkle, a little wholesome Sirianni twinkle, and says, I designed the plays. Brian Johnson calls them. What clarity is that? All you've done there is say, I'm the head coach, he's the offensive coordinator. Obviously, we know that because he's coordinating the offense. It hurts. What does that mean? What does it mean? Like, it is, again, I said on Twitter earlier, that is the equivalent of me trying to cook for my girlfriend, burning everything, which usually happens. I'm a terrible cook. I'm a ready meal kind of guy, all right? I have a terrible diet, but I exercise a lot and I like doing it, burns it off. But it is like me trying to cook something very nice, saying, oh, I got the recipe of Gordon Ramsay, actually. Yeah, it's meant to be a really good recipe, but I'm cooking it. So it doesn't matter what the recipe is. The recipe can be for the nicest thing on the planet. It's still going to look like cow sludge because I'm cooking it. It doesn't matter what plays you have on your sheet. If Brian Johnson is looking at his play sheet, singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, pressing light up buttons, does it? I want to play the blue one. No, that's a pass, Brian. I want to play the red one. That's another pass, Brian. Turn the page, use the numbers, yeah? More your speed, Brian. Oh, sorry. Look, I am, yeah, I'm angry. Maybe I do need some therapy. I apologize. We might even lose that game to that. Look, okay. I'd like to think they won't lose that one just because it's Jonathan Gannon, Wavy D. If they lose that one, I will absolutely lose my head. That's the one I cannot stomach. You can lose to the Jets. You can lose to the Commanders twice if it was somehow possible. You can even lose to the Giants twice. But you lose to Jonathan Gannon, we've got issues. I will fly out there personally to sit outside Lincoln Financial Field and scream "Love Story" by Taylor Swift until they ban me, until the security come out and evacuate me from the stadium, because someone has got to get through to them somehow. Remember, they beat the Patriots narrowly. Look at the Pats now. Yeah, good point, to be fair. Very good point. And that's the thing with the NFL is that it can all change in a heartbeat, which is why I don't get this whole, underdog accountability thing, because it should be there the whole time, right? Like, it should have been there after week 1. It wasn't good enough, change it. Week 2, it wasn't good enough, change it. Week 3, it wasn't good enough, change. Like, there has been no accountability, in my point. Like, what is the accountability? Where is it? What does it look like? It doesn't show up on the plays. It doesn't show up when you're calling 3 consecutive QB runs, does it? Doesn't look the same when your quarterback's lobbing an interception into quadruple coverage for fun. So where is it? Like, did the Eagles start power running and they run 11 plays in a row and then you just go, yeah, see, we listen. But we need a sign from the heavens. Look, I'm not really into astrology, but there's some, maybe, I don't know, Mercury's in Gatorade or something, and they need to just reel him out of it and get Brian. But they've got to do something, because there is no accountability other than, Brian, we divided a play sheet in half and made them all red and blue. Yeah. Well, you see, you keep hitting the red ones, Brian, and the red ones are passes, yeah? Yeah. And we need the blue ones, because the blue ones are running, Brian. Yeah, I need to get them involved. It's like a 50-50 split. Oh, but I thought you wanted me to pass the exam. No. Yeah, Brian, pass the exam, not pass the ball every play. Yeah? Oh, but I didn't want to run around in your head all day. No, you're running in my head now, Brian, because you drive me insane. Okay? So let's divide a new play sheet, because colours aren't your... Are you colourblind, Brian? Yeah. Right, that explains it. That's the accountability that's going on. Is the only way I can imagine it right now. I don't know. Eric brings up a good point. Do you think Howie and Lurie are putting pressure on Nick and the staff to have Jalen throw more and not run as much? I don't know, because at the same time, the Eagles have been such a run-heavy offense for so long. I understand there's an emphasis from Jeff Lurie in passing. There always has been. And I don't know how involved he is in like the day-to-day runnings of the team, but I know it was previously pretty intense. Like under the Carson Wentz era, there was like a lot of behind-the-scenes shadowing, like push of I want this to happen and you're going to play that way, which explains a lot of like the miscommunications and scheme breakdowns and stuff. But yeah, I'd like to think, having seen, look, Jeff Lurie's been around football long enough, okay? Like, was there ever a push to have Michael Vick be a passing quarterback? Even under Chip Kelly, like, was there ever a devout push to make him pass more? Like, I don't think that, like, he's seen enough good quarterbacks to understand, like, what makes a quarterback good, and to understand that Jalen Hurts is cut from a different cloth from Carson Wentz, from everyone else, really. It doesn't matter whether it's Eagles history or NFL history. So I'd like to think that he understands that there shouldn't be a push on having to pass as much. Like, I'd like to think, and I keep saying like because I might be wrong, but that he knows it's not Madden and there isn't just like an agenda of I want the football to look this way, because it doesn't matter how it looks as long as they win. Maybe there is a push to not have him like roll outside as much and sneak as much. And we said before about how the option plays certainly seem to have changed a little bit and appear a little bit more like longer drawn out. Like before it was RPO 5 yards, bang, balls out within like 1 second, 2 seconds. Now the Eagles, I'm pretty sure, are still near the bottom in like time to throw, which is not great, especially now you're without Lane Johnson. So yeah, it feels as though that they're still having the same core offense, but maybe there is a push on the options, taking away the option of having them become passes and just a play action pass, if that makes any sense, if you see what I'm getting at. Yeah, I don't know, but I think that Lurie might like the passing game, but I think he likes the NFC Championship and more Lombardi's more. Yeah, and that's where he's at. I don't think it matters, again, aesthetically, what kind of football the Eagles play as long as they win. I don't care if Jalen Hurts starts doing handstand and singing Kumbaya, as long as that team wins. But the fact is, when they don't, doing the handstand and singing Kumbaya becomes a problem because you've got away with it for 5 weeks, and that's very much what we're seeing now. And you've got a $250 million quarterback in your room, and you have literally, he's 7-7 touchdowns to interceptions. It's not on. It's not on. Look, if it was me and I was a general manager, look, I'm the same on Football Manager, I'm the same on Madden, I wouldn't pay quarterbacks. I don't care. Like, you can win with an average quarterback. Defenses win championships, I firmly believe it. With that offensive line, with the running backs and the weapons they have, just ride out the rookie deal. If he gets upset, someone else will pay him. He's good enough for someone else to do it. They're quite happy not to pay linebackers and running backs. I understand quarterback is the most important position on the roster. But if you can garner enough assets to have... I've said this earlier in the season. Derek Carr would have been 5-0 with that team in the same way Jalen Hurts was. Maybe even 6. Maybe even 6. Like, and there are other... Jimmy Garoppolo, another one. Like, bad quarterbacks that can manage a game would have had the same record as Jalen Hurts has this season. And that's concerning. And I don't know if that is on Hurts or it is on Brian Johnson, but it's got to be fixed. Hurts is the man you've paid $250 million. How many Taco Bells is that? Let's have a look, shall we? Because I'm, trying to make a point here. Share screen. How much is a Taco Bell? It's all in American, isn't it? So let's have a look. Taco Bell. We'll convert it to pounds roughly because, where are we at? What should we get? How many? Let's have a... I'll tell you what I get from Taco Bell. Right, I get the... Where is it? They don't do it anymore. Oh, what? This stream has gone massively off topic, and I'm very sorry. But I promise it's half worth it. What is this? I get a little... Oh, give me a meal. Give me a meal. Oh, just have that. I'll have a 2 Taco Supreme meal. How much is that? How much is it? Someone tell me how much a Taco Bell is for the sake of my sanity, will you? Please. I don't know. Look, I'm going to say $5. It's a lot of Taco Bells. It is a lot of Taco Bells. I've gone non-linear. I don't know what I've done. If they allow the run to be established, it will open up the offense and Jalen can comfortably pick and choose. Exactly. But when you're not, and he's there throwing... There is no conceivable... Look, you can put anything you want on Jalen Hurts. You can say he shouldn't have thrown the first pick. He shouldn't have thrown the second pick. Shouldn't have thrown the third pick. Boo-hoo. Game's the game. Quarterbacks throw interceptions. Deal with it. Okay? It happens. Throwing 45 times in a game you are... Right. Wait there. I've had enough of this again. I'm livid. You've upset me. You've awoken the dragon. Right. Eagles. No, not schedule, but... even the Google search is pissing. Can I get the stats? Oh, actually, well, I need that. Right. So the Eagles went up 7 after that 9-minute drive, yeah? Then they went up 14, I think. And then they were 14-3 up. And they had 45 pass attempts. 45. 45. And we're going to sit here and pretend it's Jalen Hurts' fault. He's probably knackered, the poor guy. Sat there without Lane Johnson. Jack Driscoll's tumbling all over the gaff. Oh, whoopsie. Oh, sorry. Oh, there goes Quinnen. Oh, there he goes. He's probably shattered. and you're going to pin it on Jalen. Look, Jalen Hurts has not been great. Understandable. And that loss wasn't on him as much as it was on Brian Johnson. I need a drink, okay? Both alcoholic and water at this point. But I'll take a quick 30-second break. So I'm doing it on stream. I'm too angry. You can watch me drink. I don't mind. We're angry today. We can go on and on. You ain't having the ASMR though. You can pay for that on OnlyFans. You ain't. Or maybe I'll treat you. No. Well, I'll tell you what, Kayvon, right? You don't know if we're looking for Eagle stats or Taco Bell prices. The price of a Taco Bell, about $8. It's probably what I would have paid for the price of admission to that game on Sunday. Maximum. So there is a linear partnership there. Jack Driscoll had 8 pressures. The last... All right, hang on. Can we appreciate that is a Hall of Fame worthy... Oh, I turned it off. Oh, no, look, I got angry. I'm sorry. I don't know how much you heard and what you didn't, but I got your attention. Look at you all like, joke's on you. No, I'm joking. That is the best comment I've ever seen. I don't know if you heard that bit or not. And I'm not even being sarcastic. You all know my adoration for Jamon Brown, one of the greatest Eagles offensive lineman of all time, okay? Sacked his own quarterback, he was that good, okay? You're telling me that Jack Driscoll, in half a game, rivaled Jamon Brown. That is stupendous. That's the best thing I've ever seen. And I'm not even joking. That is genuinely the greatest comment I could have possibly wished for. Jamon Brown is relevant again in the city of Philadelphia, and somewhere he's swapping his jersey out with another player that he's just played against and having fun with it. Right, okay, all right, let's bring it back down to earth. I have not, Sunshine. You behave yourself. I hope I haven't. Anyway, if I have, please let me know. I'll feel terrible. But I don't mean to be Dan Sileo. I mean, we're talking about Silo as it is, whatever we saw on Sunday, because that was atrocious. If Silo had gone to a real university and lost £100, I still don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. I'm still not sure. I'll take it, sort of. I guess I'll take it for now. Night and day. The difference from last year is our OCDC. Not ACDC, like Brian Johnson, who is the singer of ACDC. The singer of ACDC, Brian Johnson, would also be a better offensive coordinator than this Brian Johnson. He's not even the best Brian Johnson anymore. Forget being the best offensive coordinator in the NFC East or the NFL. He's not even the best Brian Johnson. There is a Brian Johnson that's better than him. Doesn't even anything to do with football, and he'd be a better coordinator. So there's that. And I'm a big AC/DC fan. True story. First song I ever learned to play on guitar was Highway to Hell. And boy, are we on that highway today. Strolling on down we are. Absolutely brilliant. I appreciate your comment, by the way, Joe. Thank you for hanging out on the show. I think we'll end up seeing Steen soon rather than later. Yeah, I mean, what was incredible was a week ago, not even a week ago, people were saying that Jack Driscoll should be involved in trade discussions with Jeremy Chin. Oh, yeah, Jeremy Chin, one of the best young safeties in the NFL, is going to get traded to the Eagles for Jack Driscoll, who, as we've now seen, is he's a swing tackle who can only play on the left side for a start. So that makes him a left tackle. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Picture with Lamar runs through. Same. Jamon Brown is going into that horror team. A lot of people are going. Jack Driscoll is borderline. That Halloween stream we've got coming up, October 27th. I'm telling you now, Jack Driscoll is flying up draft boards very, very quickly. I completely agree with Ron. Yeah, Driscoll's definitely. I think he came out of Auburn as a guard, didn't he? But was big. which is kind of like an insult, isn't it? When you think it's like you're a fat guard, so you might be able to play tackle. If I remember correctly, he might have played tackle at Auburn as well. I might be mistaken, but I also might not be. Stoutland University. Hello, HC. That is a new. That's our first Flyers logo in the chat as well. Somehow even the Flyers are less stressful than the Eagles this week. But thank you for hanging out, HC. Nice to see a new member in our therapy chat. Jeff Stoutland University needs to increase its grading standards. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think health and safety needs to shut down MetLife for the shit turf. I figured to use that and not OSHA. I'm not too big on turf, but I think the Eagles could have been, the Jets could have been wearing like ice skates on turf and then have still lost. So I don't think it's too much of that there. I promise I'll spend Wednesday's stream being like a bit more optimistic. Like I will calm down and I'll be like, it's not that bad and that they will rebound because we know how good they can be, and I'll be boring and it'll be boring for like a week. And then I hope they lose again and so we get more entertaining shows. But realistically, they are fine, probably. The Dolphins, regardless of what happens against Miami, they're going to be fine because it's the Dolphins and they're not expected, especially now they're not expected to win. Then they'll beat the Cowboys and we'll be back on the wagon and it'll be fine. So realistically, don't panic. It's just very annoying, isn't it? Never started anywhere but left tackle going back to high school. There you go. So, this is Steen, I'm guessing. We literally had 6 injuries and the Jets had 4 there in one game. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Eagles were debilitated. But even then, I mean, you could argue that Eagles team is good enough to beat the Jets even with the injuries. Like, there's no... The Jets had the cluster injuries in the secondary. Like, sure, the Eagles did, but it's Zach Wilson throwing the ball. If it was Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, fair game. But it's not. It's Zach Wilson. Shall we see Zach Wilson's stat? I mean, the only thing I will say to Zach Wilson, as we go back to sharing the screen again, Taco Bell or Eagle schedule? Not entirely sure. Zach Wilson's completion percentage has been really good for the past, 3 weeks. Purely because he's Bing is the worst search engine in the history of all time. Shows you straight on Google. It won't even load up, will it? Oh, wait there. What a mess. What a mess. Brilliant. That's gone well. Oh, God. All this for what? I'm just about... Oh, there he is. Right. Look at that smug little... He's got such a long neck. He reminds me of someone, and I can't think who it is. We've completely gone off topic, I understand that, but he really does remind me of someone, and that's winding me up. If someone can pinpoint that, please tell me, because I am lost for words. Yeah, I would say it was protecting the rock quite well in those games. Had over 70% completion. It plays the Eagles, doesn't even throw a touchdown. The Eagles held him to a 57% complete. This is what I'm saying, though. If you saw this stat line, right, ignore the score. If you saw completed 19 of 33 for 186 yards and 57% completion, what would you tell me the score is? Did the Jets win or lose that game? Read that stat with nothing else, and it's sacked 5 times, the most he's been sacked all year, under the 3rd lowest completion percentage of the year, under 200 yards passing, 5 yards per attempt. Did the Jets win or lose that game? And I'll guarantee you what the answer is. It is not that they won. That's the issue. Yes, the Eagles had injuries, but they still made Zach Wilson look bad. It's just situationally, the Eagles continued to put them into dodgy situations. The Eagles put them into scenarios where it was harder for the Jets to lose than it was for the Jets to win. I think that is the best thing I could say about it. It was physically harder for the Jets to lose that game than it was for them to actually win it. They could have tried to lose it and failed. It would have been impossible. What's good is that the Niners also lost to win out of the 1 seed. Yeah, I mean, if there's ever a silver lining, it's that. And not that you want to put silver linings on injuries, because you never want players to get injured. But certainly, excuse me, you can tell the yawnings are setting in again now. It's getting late. You can tell that, yeah, like without Christian McCaffrey, without Deebo Samuel, potentially even for a couple of weeks, that team's going to be hampered. And that does play into Philadelphia's hands. At the end of the day, can the Eagles make the most of that opportunity? Is the team good enough? Yes, but potential versus current ability are two different things. And whether it's coaching staff, whether it's player-based or a culmination of the two, they're just not at a point, I don't think, where they're able to take that on and really rise to that. Greg's right. The Eagles are a team who need humiliation to thrive. But I've already ranted about this earlier because they will come back and they will beat the Dolphins 34-17. And they'll come out saying, everyone doubted us. We're the underdogs. We're the big, bold, angry men. And the world turned on us. I can't even do a husky voice without coughing now. But they didn't. You're just a team that's meant to be Super Bowl worthy. You are the last undefeated team in football. You are a team coming off of a Super Bowl appearance. You are a team with a $255 million quarterback, a dominant wide receiver who's just broke an NFL receiving record, a defense that's one of the best in football, and DeAndre Swift, who's also broke records this year. You are not supposed to lose that game. That doesn't make you an underdog. That makes you shit. It makes you underwhelming. It makes you disappointing. And it makes you fall short of the expectations that you earned. Not you, Greg. Sorry. I love you. You're lovely. But the Eagles put that bar there themselves by showing the world how good they are, by getting to a Super Bowl, right? By overcoming it, by Jalen Hurts taking on that seismic leap in development, by hanging with the Chiefs and arguably playing, well, definitely in my opinion, playing good enough to win that Super Bowl. It was more of a surprise that they lost it. That's their own fault for then pushing on. That's the standard now. That's the standard they play out. That is the best team in the NFC. They beat the Niners, made light work of them. That is the best team in the National Football Conference. Fans and nobody else should be made to feel stupid for saying the Eagles have lost it a bit or that they're not as good as they were, because they're not. That's just a fact at the minute. And if they come out with that tired brilliant. That's gone. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that has gone great. Unbelievable. There's always something. There's always something, isn't there? Something's always going wrong. Especially, I'm burnt out after that stream. I had a 45-minute rant there. Let's reset. Samuel's 3-6 when they won a Super Bowl with Brady. Have another drink and move on. Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, I mean, the team will be okay, but it doesn't make it any easier to digest, does it? Like, again, I mean, K1 loves the old analogies for relationships and stuff. Like, if you have a horrible argument over absolutely nothing, and then your girl says, like, you're going bald, and I think you'll be a shit dad. This didn't happen to me, by the way, although I probably am going bald. But, like, if that happens, and it's over nothing, and you stay together and have a happy marriage, it doesn't make it any less stressful. Doesn't mean it shouldn't have happened, not that she was out of line. It just means that, what's happened here? What's that? Even the computer's mugging me off now. Oh, I was on hell of a point as well then. I was flying. That was a prime TikTok clip. Ruined, because even the stream's given up. The stream's given up. The Eagles are giving up. So will I. I'll see you later. You'll lose it a little at the front. Now you mention it. Every week. Like, I wonder why covering this shit house of a team. You try keeping your hair covering the Eagles every week. It's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Look at it. Is. I know. I am going bald. Oh, I'm dreading it. Like, you know when everyone like shaved their hair off during COVID? I was like really close to doing it. And then I realized it's not growing back, is it? Like, if that comes off, that ain't growing back. I'll look like a borderline sex offender if I go bald. It's not happening. I'll ride this out until I'm like 38. And if we start going bald, we start going bald. The game's the game. But Phillies better win on this seat on Suicide Watch. Yeah, I mean, I do hope the Phillies win. I really hope the Phillies win. And they should win. Oh, but the Eagles should have won as well. Wear a hat. You've been in the chat 3 minutes and you're piping up. Unbelievable. The cheek of this chat. Look, I know we're stressed because the Eagles lost, but come on. I will say, look, that is the best thing about this community is it's just like the jokes are absolutely fantastic. You should get up the razor now or wear a hat. I love it. I do genuinely. That's what I tell myself. I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't think there's any. I was saying this the other day. Like I put the story on of K1's comment. I put it on TikTok. What was it? I can't remember what he said. It was something about. It was slagging me off. It's K1, isn't it? But I put it on TikTok, and my girlfriend saw it and was like, "Why do you let them do that?" And I'm like, "It's funny." I was like, "You will not find another like Eagles sports radio show or sports show or whatever, which is that kind of synergy." Oh, not again. Oh, never mind. No, maybe everyone's right. I'm bullying myself at this point. This is absolutely horrific. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. Who's really to blame for the Eagles loss? Eric. Did he actually? I don't think I predicted. I know I predicted an Eagles win, but I think I said I wouldn't be surprised if they lost because it would be the most Eagles thing ever. So, like, in my head, there was this pre-planned narrative if they lose this and then they beat the Dolphins by like 21. And I think that's still on. I think that's very much still on. But we could, if you want to blame Eric, blame Eric. I'm sure he will take that extremely well. I saw another comment there. Oh, Carlton. There we go. What's up, Carlton? How are you, man? Excuse me. I meant to bird put you. That was rude. We got caught slipping, that's all. Yeah, but you shouldn't be getting caught slipping. Not against the Jets. Like, you get caught slipping against the Dolphins. Not the Jets. Flipping the birds is going to be insane tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to fire him up. I'm going to fire Brian up and make sure he's on, his very best. I feel like Phil set the tone this morning. I feel like I've got us onto second base. I'm going to need Brian to bring us home now and bring in the Grand Slam. No, not you. Not you. Eric, I ain't done nothing. Not you. Eric from Flipping the Birds, like one of the hosts on our Eagles podcast on a Tuesday night. Not you. Eric, I ain't done nothing. Oh, phenomenal. Well, we've got 7 minutes left, guys. So if there is anything you want to go over or get off your chest, feel free. No organizations from you, buddy. Yeah, if you do want to get anything off your chest about the Eagles or the Jets for that point or anything, let me know. I'm okay. But it's funny, I had our first losses either the Chiefs or the Niners. I mean, how deep is that into the schedule? Because that's pretty... Let me get the schedule back up. I think mine was the Jets, but that was like when Aaron Rodgers was on the Jets. Since then, I didn't have anything. Like I thought it was going to be... I don't know. Yeah, I probably would have been the Chiefs looking at it. Yeah. Oh, you can't see the schedule, can you? That's annoying. I can't be asked to show it again. I'm being lazy now. That's my bad. But yeah, I'd have probably agreed with you, Carlton. I think, yeah, for me, it was the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Without Aaron Rodgers, that game was a win. I didn't lose to the Cowboys. I didn't lose to the Commanders. It would have been the Chiefs or the Bills for me. The Bills more likely than the Niners. I think the Niners is a rent-free thing at this point. I think the Eagles know them sort of inside out. Debo's in his own head. Brock Purdy's mid. Like, the defense is great, but realistically, the Eagles' defense is just as good. And if it comes down to which quarterback's better, or which coordinator is better, I typically say Philadelphia. Now I don't know, but I would say the Eagles will have a better chance against the Niners and the Bills, just because that Bills is the Bills' defense is a different monster, I think. HC, just so you know, been watching and reading PSN since 17. Oh no, I know. Yeah, I appreciate your support, man. That's incredible. That's a PSN veteran. That's been around for the long haul. Seeing the rise, the fall, the resurrection, everything. I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. And I know like so many of the names here in this like core group of people in the chat, all in the same boat. And it's the most amazing feeling to know that I've been a part of your lives, even to some small post-game therapy degree. For a while, and it's the most humbling thing. So even on a night like tonight, we're all angry and jokingly taking the piss. It does mean a lot. And yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll never take a joke personally, for better or worse. So that's it's what for me. It's what makes the stream so fun. Like, I'm not gonna block that. Like, I'm not sensitive. I'm not gonna be like what and start having a go. If it's funny, it's funny. And you guys are the best fans and absolutely hilarious and you make the streams what they are. So if you're boring and not insulting me, what am I going to do? Just natter the whole time. I need people to keep me in check, and you guys do a great job. So I do appreciate all of you. Was that loss to the Saints last year the one to wake this team up that they could lose? I mean, maybe. Yeah, the Commanders was one as well. But it's like I was saying earlier in the show, that I think the difference is that last year the Eagles played like a championship team throughout and had a skid. They've played like a team of bozos for 5 weeks and got away with it, and have now been outcompeted by a bozo team. That's the difference. Like, the Eagles in 2022 were sleepwalking past teams because they were just on a different level of talent. And now talent isn't good enough to get you that far when your coordinator, again, is reading Colin the Caterpillar on the sidelines. So I think that's the difference with that. Like, no one was really concerned after the Washington game. No one was really concerned after a couple of other losses last year. But this one, I think, I would understand why people are more concerned, for sure. Why didn't they make some adjustments to protect Driscoll on the right side of the offensive line? Yeah, I mean that in itself is very peculiar. And without a look at the tape, it's hard to say for sure. Like, the Eagles have done it so well in the past. Like, with the amount of times they've had injuries, and Halapoulivaati Vaitai in the playoff run. I remember against the Vikings. I want to say it was not Gerald Everett. Oh, what's he called? The guy that was on the Vikings for ages. Danielle Hunter, maybe. That's an auto-tune. That was phenomenal. Yeah, that he was like one-on-one with him, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's going to be the matchup that kills them." It might not have been Hunter, but it was a prominent defensive end. And they got him so much help on that left side from Stefan Wisniewski, and they got by. And they totally nullified that side of the offensive line. It can be done. It's been done before. They've got all the talent in the world to do it. Dallas Goedert's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Again, that's a coordination issue, and it starts with a bad BJ. And ultimately, it's going to end with a bad BJ, I think. Blame all Erics that spell it with a K. Who's supposed to act with a K? Perverts. Yeah, sounds too like Brian with a... Oh, no. Oh, don't tell Brian that. See, I'm lucky with Liam. State of Philly sports teams. What's up, Goofy? How are you? What a man. Goofy's back in the chat. State of Philly sports team. Eagles are creating chaos. The Flyers are all right, bizarrely. The Phillies are great. The Union might be great, but then decided to sack their captain for no reason, and then everyone's kicked off about it. And the Sixers might be trading James Harden. So a standard week in Philadelphia sports, I suppose, isn't it? That's sort of where that is now. Just another day in the office, I suppose. There's never been a dull day doing this job, ever. Never been one boring, run-of-the-mill, nothing. There's always one tiny little comment, one little someone says in a press conference, or a rumor, or an injury, or a loss to the Jets. There's always something going on, and that's why I love it. It truly is the best job in the world. There's always something moving and going on. But on that note, I'm gonna stop screaming at you. You'd be totally bald, and the Sixers will be trading James Harden. I will look like fat James Harden. When James Harden came into training camp looking like morbidly obese, that's what I would look like. Also, all I'm saying is I had a shave on Wednesday. It was noted by this chat. Look at that, look at the vague outline of facial hair. Look at the boy going through puberty at age 28. Look at that. It's like a horse race. The final few furlongs, the favourites are winning. And here comes Liam with his puberty. He's got a few fences to go. Look at it. It looks magical. I'm a new man. Just the outline of what's coming. It's not quite there, but it's coming. Tremendous. Almost like a full... I can't wait to turn into one stream when I'm 33 years old. I'll be like, hey guys, so the Eagles lost, and we're going to break that down for you today. Can you imagine? Full-blown puberty LJ. At least you have the Mourinho of hockey and Tortorella. Yeah, Torts is good. Everyone does love Torts. If you can turn that team around, I think that will actually make him the true Mourinho of hockey, because that would take some doing. Yeah, this is a Juan Castillo situation. I hope not. For the love of God, I hope not. You might have hair on the bottom before you use it up top. Absolutely savage. But oh wow, I mean that's a new one. I mean, I thought HC got in there with the last one, but that is a new. That's a gut. You might have hair on the bottom before you lose it up top. It never ends, is it? What a show. I'm going to have to make a compilation of this because this has been a very enjoyable show. In an otherwise stressful and an upsetting week as an Eagles fan, I'm glad that we could have an hour together on Monday to just get it all out of our system. Thank you for putting up with me screaming. I apologize if it was loud. Obviously, it's only the second stream doing it with that, and I'm holding it here. So if I'm I didn't think of that. So it might have just been like, and if it sounded like that the whole stream, I'm very sorry. You should have told me. Maybe I deafened you didn't hear it, which would also explain a lot. But I hope you all have a great evening, guys. Thank you for hanging out. So the new people that have tuned in, and of course, to Lone Trout for donating $5 as well. That was incredibly kind of you, sir. Hope you especially have a lovely night and have a good BJ, unlike the BJ the Eagles currently have. I will see you all on Wednesday. If you haven't left a like, if you could, it'd be amazing. If you do subscribe to the channel, you just get notifications whenever we're live, which for me is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night, guys. Go Phils. Not go Birds. Go Phils. Yeah? Go bring it home. 1-0 against the Diamondbacks. Sort it out. Dancing on my own. Not dancing in a corner downing whiskey because I'm sad like last night. I've had enough of it. Phillies in 3. That's not even possible. Phillies in 4. You know what I mean? Enjoy your evening, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.